Running a small business already takes enough time, so your spreadsheet should not create even more work. In this video, I'll show you how small business owners can use Quadratic to track revenue, expenses, inventory, and monthly reports in one AI-powered spreadsheet. So today I'm working with bakery data. First, I have this sales sheet that has the sales of the bakery from January to April of this year. Next, I have this expenses sheet that has the expenses of the bakery from January to April of this year. And finally, I have this inventory sheet that has my current inventory at the end of April. I have my starting quantity, which is what I need to have on hand going into May. And then finally over here, I have the reorder quantity, which is how many more of each item I need to order to get to my May 1 target, as well as the unit cost and the total reorder cost. And now I can just tell Quadratic whatever I need to do. So first I'm going to start with the sales sheet, and I'm telling Quadratic to create a chart breaking down revenue by month. And with just that one prompt, I now have this chart breaking down my revenue by month. So this is super helpful to see. My revenue is just kind of jumping up and down month to month with no clear trend. Next, I'm curious to see which categories are accounting for more of my revenue. So now I want it to break down total year-to-date revenue by category in a chart. Awesome, now I have my year-to-date revenue broken down by category. I can see that pastry is the category that is driving the most of my revenue, followed by bread and cake, and cookies and pies drive the least of my revenue. Now moving on to my expenses, I'm telling Quadratic to create a chart breaking down my total expenses month over month. So there we go. I can see that my total expenses each month are staying relatively stationary. There is a slight upward trend, but nothing to get too bothered about. Now for my next prompt, I'm going to have it create another chart breaking down revenue versus expenses so I can see how expenses and revenue are trending together along with profit. And then I'm also asking Quadratic to create a breakdown of expense categories so I can see what is causing this slight uptick in expenses. Awesome. Now I can see my expense categories over time, and I can see that my payroll increased from 4,800 to 5,000 between January and February, and then increased another 200 from March to April. So that seems to be driving a lot of that increase in expenses, although it was just a small increase. I just wanted to see where that was coming from. And then coming up here, I can view my revenue versus expenses with profit. So once again, here are my expenses, and I can definitely see we are in the red quite a bit right now, so that is something we need to be looking into. I do not think this is going to be sustainable at all. We are operating at about a $7,000 monthly loss, so obviously that is not going to be very sustainable, so I'm already seeing some things that I need to work on. Finally, let's move on to the inventory sheet, and I'm going to tell Quadratic to break down inventory reorder cost by category. And sweet, I can see that a lot of my inventory reorder cost going into May is going to be from dairy and specialty, with dry goods following shortly behind, and then way down there are packaging and produce. Finally, for my last prompt, I'm telling Quadratic to create a summary of my business performance year to date and give recommendations to improve profitability. And this is great. From that prompt, it created this business performance summary year to date. It has a lot of our key metrics listed up here in these tables. And then scrolling down, it has listed key findings as well as recommendations to improve profitability. So as I noticed before, business is operating at a substantial monthly loss. Revenue only covers 22% of expenses. So that's something that's definitely going to have to change going forward. On the positive side, revenue is trending up strongly, so I'll definitely take that. And then down here, it's given me 5 recommendations to improve profitability, including driving revenue with 5 specific examples of how to do that, reducing the cost of goods, and so on. So what's awesome about Quadratic is the owner gets a clear view of the business without manually stitching together files or becoming a spreadsheet expert. The workflow stays flexible because it is still a spreadsheet. So if you want to both save time and improve analytics for your small business, definitely check out Quadratic. You can find it linked at the top of the description of this video. And with that, I'll see you next time.